U.S. Department of Education has announced some updated changes that will transform a range of student relief debt programs and implement some better ways and that you'll be able to pay for that. So I'm glad to have with me again on the record with AURN Secretary of Education, Miguel Cardona. How are you today, sir?
Ebony, glad to be with you. Looking forward to the conversation and looking forward to sharing with the American people what we're up to.
Absolutely. Look, I'm so excited about these new changes. People are asking questions. The public service forgiveness loan deadline ended on the 31st. People are wondering what is happening. So let's talk about some of these changes. I want to first start with the good news of the interest capitalization. What's going to happen with people's payments?
Well, look, I'm glad people are asking, and I'm glad people are paying attention because we had a broken system. And the president told us really clearly on day one, fix the broken system. So what you're hearing now are ways that we're fixing a broken system. You mentioned public service loan forgiveness, right? That system denied 98% of the people that applied before we came in. Right now, we have over 230,000 people that have benefited from it, over $14 billion in debt relief provided through that program alone. And we're doing borrower defense, interest capitalization. We're not going to allow interest to continue to compound on these loans, which is burying people in debt. We're fixing that too. So there's a lot of little things that we're doing, but the bottom line is, Ebony, we're fixing a broken system.
I love it. Let's also now talk about closed school discharges.
Yeah. So look, we call it borrower defense. We got a lot of schools that took advantage of borrowers. Right? The most famous ones are ITT and Corinthian. Basically, they sold first-generation college students lies. They sold them lies, right? I was a first-gen college student myself. I was kind of navigating on my own, trying to figure things out. Well, they sold them lies. And we're discharging those debts, over $14 billion for more than 1 million people who are no longer going to have to carry that burden. It's hard enough to try to go to school and follow your dreams, but when they sell you lies and then they try to charge you, we're putting a stop to that, and we're proud of it.
Now, I just got off of a live with Sonia Lewis. She's my go-to. She's a student loan doctor. Hundreds of people that were in the chat. And one of the questions that was coming up repeatedly is, will there be an extension of the public service forgiveness? One reason why there were a few hiccups when it came to trying to get it submitted. Is there any chance that could happen because some of the barriers that made it a little harder for people?
Listen, we've been hearing from folks from day one. We had a 1-year waiver that expired on Monday.
Yes.
This is my answer to those folks. So some of those benefits. The majority of those benefits that were in that waiver, we are fighting and we're rolling out rules that are going to make them effective July 1st for those benefits to continue permanently now, right? So you don't need the waiver. And we're going to be resetting the accounts, meaning we're going to count the loan payments that they made. We're going to make the process much simpler. We've been listening, and we're going to try to make those temporary waiver benefits permanent moving forward. So that's good news to the folks that maybe didn't get it in on time or still didn't know about it. We're working to make this stuff permanent. We're fixing a broken system.
I really want people to know that the PSLF is not closed, because many people thought because of the 31st deadline that it's closed. But you're saying even on the 31st, in July, we'll see some changes.
Absolute permanent changes too. Like, again, we did this waiver to get us through that first hump where people were getting misinformation or they were misled previously, thinking that their loans would count and they didn't count. Well, what we're doing now, we're going to do an adjustment to make sure that all these those months where they thought they were paying are going to count. We're going to take care of our veterans who were overseas, thinking that those months of service was going to count toward those loans. They didn't. We're going to take care of that. Look, we want to fix the system. We know it's confusing. We're going to clean it up, but the permanent changes that we're making are going to benefit the American people for generations to come.
Lastly, 30 seconds. All this news is good news, but many people are worried. There's been a huge backlash from Republicans who are trying to stop this at every step of the way. What do you say to people that are like, is this going to really stick? We've already seen a few changes.
Look, Hypocrisy is palpable these days. We're going to continue to fight. 40 million people are eligible. We have the information of over 26 million people. We're going to keep fighting in the courts to make sure we can provide this debt relief, this targeted debt relief that's going to take 42% of our Black borrowers and eliminate their debt. It's going to take half of our Latino borrowers, eliminate their debt. This is good for the American people. It's good for our country. We're going to keep fighting, even though there are some elected Republican officials that are doing everything in their power to stop us.
Thank you, Secretary Cardona. You know you are always welcome on the record with AURN, and I look forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you very much. Take care.